Hello and welcome to UKVersus, bringing you theories, news or more, win, lose or draw. And as you can see, I am in high definition. I've bought a brand new webcam for a stream of a local championships I'm going to, and I want to test it out. And yeah, this is the new camera. So if I look a bit more jarring, that's why. Uh, it's a bit weird for me here. Like if you, it's a bit contrasting between myself and Cameron. Whereas Cameron's got all the whites and the darks and the shades, and I've got all this colour behind me now, like the orange walls, and my Godzilla posters, and my playmats.
What's color?
That's
No, it is funny. I just checked out the stream, and yet on the stream you look way more high definition. On the call, you absolutely don't, and you were glitching like mad. So when you're like, "Yeah, I'm in high definition," I'm like, "Are you though?" But
yeah.
yes, you are. It's
Video
just
cannot
on my side
handle
of the
the
call, it looks
power
bad.
behind this webcam. But yeah, as when people might tell, between last week's stream with Marvin and this week, I've also done a bit of spring cleaning. To the point where our dining room table is filled with cards because I'm trying to sort all my collection as well. My stream office is quite small; it was just getting a bit overrun with cards, so I want to try and straighten everything out.
We play like 8 games now, so
Not really, but yeah. Anyway, you shouldn't say Godzilla case. That's my bad. I did not update that.
yeah, I need to do some spring card cleaning of my own after rotation of refilling up things on my transferring all the rotated stuff into my retro corner. So
Yeah, my
I've been
retro.
ill.
I've been meaning to sort my retro stuff out for absolute ages. I've got a load of legacy stuff now as well. But anyway,
Haven't dipped my toe in Legacy.
I mean, Legacy is pretty interesting. I got some Shadow War starters when I was playing Patriot for the Godzilla pre-release. I haven't actually shown you this yet, have I? It's possibly downstairs. I got a miscut card from my pre-release, which is literally a card like at a 45-degree angle.
Huh.
And
I've heard some of those were showing up.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone else posting about them. It just seems to be these few booster packs from Sheffield that had them. But we're here to talk about local championships, what people are playing now that we've seen final round and Barhat wrap theirs up, and what we expect to see coming out of Patriot, Alicante, wherever the hell it is Cameron lives.
Currently the 6th circle of hell. I'm not entirely sure which one we've gotten down to yet.
Yeah, and it's just talking about what we've seen so far and what we expect to see going forward. The big thing is, we immediately we saw it with the Barhat stream. There was lots of Godzilla characters. The brand new shiny cards, they're a week out, and of course people are going to be playing them. They're untested in the competitive field outside of locals. But teams have been testing them since the cards dropped down. You could see people like Time Cardwell on Ghidorah, a fair few people on Ghidorah. You had Trading Post on Titan of Terror. Titan of Terror made it to the finals, I believe, securing the win at Barhat against Jacob Johnson, which was wild because I know a lot of people were a bit skeptical of Jacob Johnson post rotation, but
Not me.
But he got a lot
Not
of
me.
cool toys.
I've got a nasty Jacob Johnson build coming in that just doesn't die. I don't know how it kills people yet, but I know it doesn't die.
That's kind of like the Mothra setup. I tell you how Jacob Johnson can die. If you've seen Jeremy Ray's combo list, he was talking about a growling grasp combo deck with things like Bridget and with Kurama. I've seen that Titan of Terror growing grasp is actually nasty because you just go, when you run out of attacks, you just go, cool, I'm going to build, and then I'm going to play grasp, and I'm going to give it plus one for everything in my card pool, everything you block with, and you just get wrecked by it.
Yeah. just to jump aside a little bit, Titan of Terror also took down the Final Round games in South Carolina. Their LC was taken down by Titan of Terror.
Yeah,
He was also the most represented character, and yeah, that dude's a monster.
of course he's
I've
Godzilla.
already got several builds for Titan of Terror that are just disgusting.
I've played a couple. There we go. I wanted to reduce my center. I've played a few games of Titan of Terror. I added him quickly to a 3v3 deck. The main issue is he's Shadow Monarch. He's Sun Jin Woo on a stick, but you don't have to pass the check. You can drop it at any time, and unless you misplay, like I have in a couple of games where I've gotten the second power token before using the form, you just get to really pop off because you get every time you play a 5 diff, even if it's in your opponent's turn, you get a power token which lets you set up your army, and then you just get to drop a 5 diff out of nowhere, whether you want it to be a unyielding force on turn 2 where you just go, cool, I now have a foundation giving me power tokens. The one from Attack on Titan, the 5 diff, Zeke's Manipulation.
Zeke manipulations, yeah.
Which just lets you go nuts on there. Being able to drop things like City Rampage out of nowhere. Just go, yeah, cool, I've got a hand of attacks. I don't need the attack. Let's just start off with first form, City Rampage. But it's be able to put your opponent in the terrible positions that they can't get out of, utilizing the attacks at the worst times, like Growing Grasp. Be able to launch an Attack Times Haymaker out of nowhere. Be able to launch a Mega Burst or a Roaring Skies, which gets +1/+1 for everything you do in there. Just be able to find the most situationally advantageous card and go, this is what's going to hit you.
You know what else he can build that's a 5 diff that's not an attack? Genghis Frog.
Yes.
All your attacks get an additional 3 damage. He can play Hunter's Ally to build Genghis Frog or Ray Fillet, and then end with a Growing Grasp at the end of his string. My favorite thing to do with him and Anguirus both is to have my first attack be Shin Hashogeki, load up all my power tokens onto that, tap my opponent's board out. They likely aren't blocking the Shin Hashogeki, and then either finish, depending on what symbol I'm on, with an Armor of the Wolf, which says I'm going to play all my enhances and get a whole bunch of damage because you can't play anything, or a Luna Ring, because sacrificing the power tokens is a card destroyed, so Luna Ring is just going to become absolutely massive. So you've got Shin Hashigeki, Luna Ring, Growing Grasp, Armor of the Wolf. His symbols allow him such a wide variance of different options, and I think that's one of the reasons he's kind of going to be one of the characters to beat in the Godzilla Reign of Kaiju meta.
He may have the lowest health total, but he's essentially a 7-hander if you build the deck correctly, because even the fact you start off with only 6 cards in your hand can be negated if you go second, because as Blake mentions, as I mentioned, you've got the unyielding force. Be able to always have access to the Hunter's Eye to keep building in the Genghis Frogs and the Ray Fillets. Another character that plays Luna Ring really well, though, and Blake did this to me, is Shin Godzilla, because he's all about destroying foundations. And every time you destroy a foundation, every time you ever destroy a foundation, you get a power token. And Luna Ring counts everything destroyed. So if you can have a really good turn with things like it's not is it Unsettling Aura? No.
Unsettling Aura is the one you sacrifice 1 to give an attack stun.
No, that's not the one. I'm trying to think what the other one is. The Yu Hakusho card, if both players have more than each player with 6 or more foundations.
It's the rare for Kurama or Karasu. I know which one you're talking about. Let me look it up real quick.
You go with that one. You just keep blowing up your opponent's board, and then you just drop a Luna Ring when they've got nothing left in the tank. You go, cool. Now I'm going to start sacking my power tokens because, like you said, Luna Ring doesn't care about what gets destroyed, and because they exist in the stage, it's a really cool thing. One,
Warped Pleasure, by the way.
what plays that's one? One of the disappointing things is the they fixed the glitch that people were going to be able to get away with that the fact that they added character stacking, but didn't clarify it was only for retro. So if you were playing Titan of Terror or Shin Godzilla, you could
And then you could
technically attach Godzilla King of Monsters to them and have +3 to everything and use your momentum. He's like, no, 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 we're going to fix that before LC's like, damn it.
yeah. Yeah. That is a dangerous thing.
Yeah, but no, I've been trying out Titan of Terror. I definitely see why he's a threat. Definitely see why he's taking down all these events because being able to play things for free, even if you are limited to 5 diffs, as well as getting the power tokens, is really cool. We saw Mina One back in the days of MHA One. She was until like the meta became too fast. She was able to kind of keep up doing silly things. I mean, I top 16 a regional with her because she just got to pass things for free. Shishi Wakamaru could do something similar, but did you know he was a
He's
very
got a bit more of a cost to him.
yeah, he's got a lot more cosplay, whereas Godzilla is a form, so you can't even interact with it. It's not like unless your opponent can seal you in your turn. This it's not an enhance. It's not a response. There's nothing that your opponent gets to interact with. There's no form cancels that exist in this game.
Not anymore, yeah.
So as long as you build the
There were back in the day.
yeah, so as long as you build your deck around that with things like manipulations and unyielding force, you are essentially a 28 health 7-hander going second, which is nuts.
Or technically like an 8-hander if you review one of those 5 diffs and you get your extra draw.
Yeah, so if you instead of hoping you check it if you've got it in hand and go cool, but I'm gonna farm and then you go cool. Now I also have my character ready and I have a foundation, so you've got the hand value like of the backup on ability. It's just really good value, and like you said, on the symbols for earth, fire, and water, there's a lot of utility. Arm of the Wolf being able to drop that late game and having all your enhances up through power tokens can really hit in, as well as then be able to spend your momentum for EX.
Yeah, that Armor of the Wolf Shin Hashigeki is a 2-card kill anything combo if you can get enough power tokens.
Yeah. I mean, the same thing with like growing grass. If you can get enough power tokens now, you just go cool. There's 6 things in both players' card pools, so this is a 4 low for 10. I'm now going to pump into this 6 power tokens. It's a 4 low for 22. What have you got?
Yeah, Karama with that, being able to add a card. If you can do like Hunter's Ally, Karama, Rayfile, and then end on a Growing Grasp, that's just
I
disgusting.
mean, even if you just tighten a terror into a Rayfile, you can do a similar thing.
True, but Karama himself can also put a card into your rival's card pool every attack, so it's kind of like you're doubling up.
But the main thing with Titan Terror is you can just keep spamming it. It's
Yeah,
the same.
and it's a throw, so it's always going to be dealing damage.
Well, not always. There is throw hit.
90.
Yeah, but that's the other big thing about it is it's more likely to do damage from here because it comes out of nowhere. Whereas, so your opponent knows it's coming, but they also can't just let you keep hitting them with other attacks. If they have a Faith Shield, if they have a Life Protector, they may need to use it early on because you also have all these high impact attacks that are getting played from the early on.
Excuse me.
Being able to drop things like Attack Titan's Haymaker, Smashing Stomp, Queen of Monsters. Queen of Monsters in Titan of Terror is a goddamn beast.
Yeah, I've pulled a full set of that. I only own one of them now because one of my newest players is in love with Mothra. So I traded her 3 Queen of Monsters for some stuff, just, make her happy with her new deck and stuff like that. And then I was starting thinking like, man, you know what would really go good in this deck? Queen of Monsters.
Yeah,
You
no.
know what would really help Maiden Kun move some stuff around? Queen of Monsters. I'm like, man, why did I trade those 3 cards away?
Have you seen how much they're going for at the minute? They've shot up.
Last I checked, regulars were 40 and alts were 50.
I pulled one. I pulled 5 Mecha Legions, which is yeah. But
see, I kind of want to mess around with Mecha Legion's younger Toguro. Use that and the Ghidorah 4 diff that's like a 4 low 0 or whatever that does the same thing, and just try to pump as much damage as possible and try to do weird deadlock shenanigans on those symbols.
No, that's really cool. I'm surprised that I haven't seen much from Broberg, but I think Broberg's going to take a lot longer to kind of get around.
So funny story. Last Saturday, I actually built a Titans Broberg, and aside from misplaying a couple of times, that deck is stupid. I played City Rampage, an 8 diff, a 9 diff, a 10 diff, a 7 diff, and then a 6 diff, and I still had foundations up. And I was like, holy scheisse.
I'm playing Party Bomb Broberg.
Yeah. Yeah, you showed me that one. That looks fun.
Well, I changed it a little bit because I realized he has Chaos, which means he can play the AOT foundations that just flick to give you momentum. So you don't need to actually hit with attacks; you can just get momentum. So, I was playing against Zephyr, and he got me to like 2 health. As Space Godzilla, he was on full health. He's like, "You're not killing me." I've got Grovekeeper's Authority. Burn you for 24. He goes, "What?" Like, yeah. And he's like,
Get bent.
You're like, here's my 7/7. He goes, block? Because that's going to leave me on 1. Like, cool. Harness on Death. Blow up and back. Blow up and back up. Burn you for 2. I'll heal 1 and kill you. He's like, and then game 2, I was literally went, my turn 3 opening was Harness on Death, Echo Harness on Death, Goalkeeper's Voice. Like, this is not fair. I'm an 8-hander. I burn through my deck very quickly.
Yeah, I built him as a 63, I think, because my usual is between 63 and 66. And when I almost cycled by like turn 4, I was like, this deck's not thick enough. Holy shit.
Yeah, well, that's why I was thinking. That's why when I was going through, I was like, I could play spells, I could play weapons, I could play titans. But I was like, but technically, I'm just Elder Toguro, but without evil. I have chaos, which means I have my chaos form draws with horrifying realization. I have my chaos momentum, so Party Bomb gets a lot stronger. So I just go, here's 5. Here's 5 with the same keyword. Stack my attack, build 1 in, horrifying realization, draw the card. I get to be a 9-hander.
Yeah, that's disgusting. I do love my Harness on Death decks.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I think it's going to take a while to actually pop off. I've actually Space Godzilla's come up with myself and a few other people to the point where I actually have a running bet with Mike Hardiman. There's his weekly shout that if Space Godzilla tops a regional, he will record deck lists for the channel. That's how confident he is it isn't going to happen.
Hey, let's make it happen, people.
I honestly, I think.
Well, I guess my people have to make it happen. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it will. I think Space it's marked turns and then turns. It has good symbol support for control, but it also has such nice interactions. Like when I was looking for Jeremy Ray's list, and I've got a video coming out next week where I add a couple of extra combos to that list myself. And it's what I pointed out to Blake and a couple of people. Fortune's favour Space Godzilla puts your opponent between a rock and a hard place.
Yep, because if they fail, your next check is +1.
That's just it. But it's not unique, so if you get multiple down, you just get to go, cool. And then you just go, yeah, cool. You pass it, I get momentum. You fail it, I get plus to my check. And then go, I'm also running fighting for control. Godzilla versus Space Godzilla, the other one that all the other ones at the score. Your checks are getting hacked here, and every time you
Yeah.
fail, I have to spend less resources on my block, or my attacks get easier to hit you, which you don't want.
Yeah, it's really rough.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of really strong, even really simple Godzilla characters that I think it's really going to shake up our meta pretty hard. Like I mentioned, one of my locals who's like brand new to the game, she's been playing less than a month, is on Mothra. And even with her limited collection and her limited knowledge of the game, that thing is damn near unkillable.
See,
It is so defensive.
that,
And
but
then I
that's yeah. I'm gonna let you finish.
and then I taught her that, hey, you know, you could use your response commit, consider something fully blocked, and then play aerial Kokosho and throw it as like a 10 high 7 on your rival's turn. And just watching her connect those dots was just so great.
Uh, this is gonna come across really bad, but I was never sold on Mothra, and I was really confused. Like when people were talking about, I could see the dream, but man, does it? It feels like you need everything to go right. You are a very squishy 7-hander in
True.
when you've got all these cool cards, and it doesn't say it's fully blocked. It doesn't deal damage. So if your opponent's
True.
playing throw nonsense, you're in trouble. And the
Yeah,
area,
but that's why you play cards like what's it called? Mikasa defeats the female Titan.
yeah, I love Divine Protector. I think struggle with studies with these new symbols is absolutely insane, especially on order. The fact you've given struggling with studies another check hacking symbol is insane because of how because of the way the card's worded. It doesn't say attacks played; it just says attacks. So if you can force your opponent to fail an attack, it still counts.
Yeah.
But I was never.
Yeah, and she does run the 4 protector of lives and
Yeah.
the struggling with studies things, and it's just a very defensive thing. Her problem is she just doesn't know how to kill people.
Well, that's the issue with Mothra is essentially you're going to hit the breaking point where you're not going to be able to kill your opponent, but your opponent is going to start overcoming your defense.
Yeah,
And
and that's where she as a player needs to just like shore up her defenses and kind of learn a little bit more. I've been working on a Mothra that's kind of very similar. It's really hard to kill, but man, I'm gonna smack you on the crackback so hard.
for
I
me,
love that it can play walk the dog on 2 symbols, and it's just great.
Ariel Kokosho feels like bait to me. Being it,
Depends on if you can actually run like some actual threatening damage boosts, like was it making preparations? Commit once a thing gets a speed bonus, it gets +3 damage. So you're throwing Kokosho as like a 10 high 10 on your rival's turn.
but it's also the even so it's a 10 high 10. They take the 10. You're now as Mothra hoping you can block the next thing.
Well, that's why you don't do it on the very first thing.
But then you've got to pass
Like you
the
can
check.
you can still play your defense.
Yeah,
Because Aero Kokosho is being played as a 4,
but
as a 4 diff on its own
but
thing.
that's what. But then that's where it's coming into it. It's how long do you sit there going down a hand size with Aero Kokosho while your opponent sets up?
The whole game is not played in a vacuum. I understand that.
Yeah.
But I think there are some really cool things that you can do with it.
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely some very cool things you can do. Right? Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's. I don't think it's competitive. I think it's fun. I think it will be good at LC levels, but it isn't what I don't think I would take Mothra to regionals. Primarily because a draw is a loss, is the best way to put it. With the way
understandable.
Until you get into the late games, if I came across you and I'm playing Mothra, you're playing Space Godzilla, you're gonna just keep setting up until you've got enough foundations that true 100% is gonna kill me, but you know you need to have at least two of them in your hand because the first one's always getting blocked. We're gonna sit there for an hour, and either you're gonna get it and I'm gonna die, or you're just gonna keep check hacking me into the ground until I can't play anything, and we're gonna get a tie, which means right out of the gate we're at a deficit.
Yeah, and like I said, there are obviously ways that it can be modified. Like on air, you can run Cardboard Crusaders. You can run Walk the Dogs. Focus Prism Beams can do some good sealing and or committing and freezing stuff. I think I already mentioned Walk the Dogs. You got Ride the Lightning, so you can just keep drawing a bunch of cards because as soon as it hits, your rival's just gonna have to let you draw a whole bunch of cards. And there are just ways that you can maximize your potential outputs.
Personally, I'd rather run Batra or Gigan.
I don't like Batra because he has to take damage in order to ready defensively.
But he has very good DR symbols. He gets seal stuff down, making it harder for your opponent to do stuff in their own turn. And every time you minus speed, they have to commit a foundation on a walk the dog symbol.
Yeah. I also like Sleepyhead Mothra. Because using Sleepyhead on your aerial Kokoshos can just be so much damage because your character's committed and your rival hasn't taken damage.
Yeah,
So you can actually make those Kokoshos really threatening.
I'm just not sold on Mothra. It's like
that's fine. I'm not here to sell you nothing.
For me. Yeah, when you live in a game where you're not always going to have the perfect block zones, and Mothra does offer this security of going, something's getting completely blocked, and that'd be great if we didn't live in a world with megalomania and all these things that are blitz speed or response speed just goes commit your character, seal your character, all these things that just go, yeah, your ability is useless here.
Yeah, but then you have to play carefully against anyone that's got fire and void, unless you know that they're not maining those symbols.
Yeah, but that
like Titan of Terror, likely not maining the fire symbol, so you don't have to worry about the megalomania there.
No, but with Titan of Terror, you need to worry about the fact that they're going to finish. They can play anything for free at the end of a string.
That's true. And maybe you don't play the Kokoshos on against Titan of Terror. You can just throw them as a 4 difficulty 6 high 7 on your turn when they completely block something.
Yeah. No, I'm not. Usually, I'm the person that goes play Kokosho. I play it in Batra. I play it in Bridget. I love it in Bridget. It's the same principle. You get the speed bonus because you blocked. You get to flip your block, and you go down progressive when it hits because you get to add it to momentum. So it's the same thing as Mothra, but Mothra loses that speed neg, and it's just oh. I just don't know if I think it's cute and I think it's really cool and it's definitely more powerful than Rodan because given that Rodan needs to give stuff speed but on face doesn't give speed. But if I was going to my local championships, unless at this time, I wouldn't feel comfortable taking Mothra. When we get to season
That's
2,
fine.
Yeah, if I can put the time in, if I can play a bit more locals, I feel Mothra, you need, like I said, you need to have a win strategy in mind. And if your win condition is just play walk the dog, then it's not a consistent win strategy.
Oh, no, of course not. But I do think if you can make a threatening Kokosho and force your rival to answer it, it could shorten some of those more aggressive strings.
Yeah.
Except against like Titan of Terror who can play something for free, but even then, maybe you're dealing with one less attack in a turn.
Yeah. I mean, we're seeing the new and shiny stuff, but we've got to remember we do live in a meta where there's still Cape of No Return condescending explanation.
Which Mothra can also run, Cape of No Return.
Genkais, which Mothra can also run. Where you can literally just get rid of the big evil attack that you don't want to deal with. People just aren't playing them at the minute because people are trying on the new shiny aggressive things.
Yeah, shiny new toy syndrome.
Yeah. By the time we get to Chicago, people will probably be more refined. I don't know how. So, like, for the last few weeks, I've been saying Mark Tyner is still the big bad. I don't know how Mark Tyner does in a post Reign of Kaiju world if Titan of Terror is going to be the big threat, because it doesn't matter if you leave me on 2 foundations. It doesn't matter if you keep blowing up my board. I'll keep rebuilding. I'm playing an attack for free that you can't touch every single turn, which seems really bad for Mark Tyner. So it kind of becomes an arms race of, can you find enough attacks to kill me before I kill you with my consistent attacks?
Yeah, there's definitely some danger there. And like I said, I do think Titan of Terror is probably the character from Reign of Kaiju to watch out for, at least at the very top, just because of the consistency, because of the free attack every turn. That's pretty dangerous. And yeah, he's limited to 5 diffs, but there's a lot of really good 5 diffs out there.
I think Mechagodzilla Kiryu is up there. It's just that he's a harder nut to crack.
Yeah, the thing about Titan of Terror and characters like I think Anguirus could also be one to watch out for. They're just very simple. They're very
Yes.
streamlined. They're very easy to comprehend and easy to build for. Anguirus was one that a local of mine was looking into, and I was like, "Hey, check out this Shin Hashigeki combo," and he's like, "That's disgusting."
But yeah, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Simple characters are great because new players can come in, they see these characters, and they go, "Oh, this is how this works." It falls in very simply with the rules, and that people are easy able to pick up on them easy. The problem is, simple characters become easy to abuse because of what
Yes.
yeah. So like Godzilla King of Monsters is a very simple character that just says all my attacks get plus 3 damage, and I can spend momentum to plus my check on attack for my next attack or my next block. Really simple. Also been an absolute menace since the moment it dropped. Younger Toguro was very simple on face. Get plus damage equal to half your foundations, and after your first attack, you get to build it down, and your opponent builds some kind of deck. Really simple. Had to be ratted because it was so busted.
Yep.
Yep. Whereas characters like Ghidorah and Space Godzilla and Kiryu will take a bit longer to kind of get your head around, but I expect to see all 15, well, all 14 characters. Fire Runner doesn't count. He gets the wooden spoon in the character power levels, but also gets first place in alt arts because he's the best alt art.
I think he's one I haven't seen yet.
You haven't seen the Fire Runner alt art?
No, I haven't pulled it.
Oh, what?
I don't go looking for these things.
I'm gonna see if I can get up on the screen. I do, because I got to do a nice interview with Sean, and he was talking about how much actual effort went into making the Fire Rodan.
That's fine. I don't do interviews. I'm a hermit. It's not just a name, it's a lifestyle.
There we go. Fire Rodan up on the stream in like 10 seconds.
Alright, let me go to the stream.
But yeah, I do think because the LC season dropped a week after Godzilla, we are in the shiny new toy syndrome. Uh, we're not really seeing. I mean, we got some very cool combinations with
He looks
like,
like a phoenix.
yeah, he's supposed to. He's Fire Ronan.
Oh, well, I figure Rodan would look more like a pterodactyl and not like a giant flaming chicken.
You do realize like dinosaurs evolved into birds, right? So that's technically what he.
Considering they used to eat us and now we eat them, I would consider that a major downgrade.
What do you mean they used to eat us?
I've seen Jurassic Park.
There's so much time between dinosaurs and people. Americans.
I know, but the movie Jurassic Park, they could eat us if they were at that level, and they've downgraded.
That that actually hurt my
But one thing I will say about simple and linear characters, one of my locals built a Ghidorah, was it three-headed monster, whatever the new one's called,
Yeah.
as an all throws deck, and it was disgusting because he was just giving all of his throws 3 damage, drawing a whole bunch of cards, and yeah, him and Hedorah, if you do like the mono throws package, could actually do some serious damage.
Oh yeah, I was saying this before Worlds. I was like, I think we're in a space where people they're starting to disrespect throws again. At Glasgow, I primarily won my games because I focused on the throw packages. I dropped Grasp of Survival instead of any other card. Like, okay, I've got my 16 Sun Jinwoo attacks. What's the last 4 cards going to be? And I was like, I'm going to put one of the last 6 cards going to be. It's like Duplicitous Recollection to build in backups, and then 4 Grasp of Survival. Why? Because it's a throw, and I get to pump it with silly damage.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think just using Hedorah to hit with a throw and then mill these like +4 block modifier cards that we get a whole bunch of is just really disgusting.
Oh yeah, I've been trying to talk people into playing a Titan of Terror Potemkin Buster list.
Nice.
Can you just drop
Let me
it?
play this for free. Catch.
Let me. It's a 2 check. It's dangerous, but you go. Yeah, it is a X for 6 that if you don't completely block, gets an additional 6. And yeah, let me just pump all these power tokens into it as well. Let's have some fun.
Yeah. No, yeah, it is a 2-check, but man, I still love my what is it, Hadir? My Hadir loop with Potemkin Buster. Just as much as I have form draw, that's how many 6 to 12 damage attacks you're taking. Catch.
Yeah. There's some really cool things
so
they've been able to do from the set, and we've only seen a couple of LCs so far, but I think everyone's kind of cottoned on to Titan of Terror being the big threat. That's only really come to head because people have been watching them. I think the issue now becomes for the next next month, because Chicago's mid April.
I think so.
He's going to be.
I don't know. I'm not competing.
The main issue is going to be: can we find answers to Titan of Terror in our kits by ourselves? Because we shouldn't just go, "Oh, Titan of Terror has been winning LCs. UVS touch them." We should be going.
No.
Well, we've got the tools. We've got the means to deal with them. Can we do it?
Yeah, that is definitely something that we should be focusing on. Although we should also focus on having fun, and as much as this character is absolutely trash competitively, I've got a Jet Jaguar list that I cannot wait to take to my locals.
What do you mean, how dare you call Jet Jaguar trash? Jet Jaguar is amazing, especially if you play Moth Monster, so you can Electric Moth, so you can ready him back up and just ignore his restriction.
Or instead of doing something smart like that, I'm gonna force you into deadlock, and I'm gonna win with spreading the word.
But what if I play Foundation Destruction?
All of my attacks flip your foundations. all of my cards have target flip, and I am just gonna sit here and spread the word of Jet Jaguar, and I'm gonna instant win. I don't care if you don't have fun.
I feel like you need to get TTS up so I can like see how liable it is against like foundation
Yeah,
structure decks.
as soon as I figure out my storage, like my tech dude lives 2 hours away now, and I only see him like once every couple of months. So as soon as we're able to sit down and I can maybe pawn off some like an external hard drive on him or something, I'm getting to it. But he's been very busy with overtime at work.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Jet Jaguar is not one I've tried yet, but my friend Zephyr has set me a challenge he'd like to try. He wants to build Jamie on all three symbols, and then see
Hey,
how.
that's what I'm doing.
But then he wants to play it against all 15 kaiju and see how many wins he can get.
Oof, that sounds time intensive.
Yeah, I'd be the one playing the kaiju, so yeah, it would be very time intensive. But
Yeah, Jamie's one that I've reignited my love for, and I've decided that I'm gonna kind of pet deck him for a while. And I've definitely been working on under all three symbols to see what I like most. I think water's the next one I'm experimenting with because I had initially built him off air for Louisville, so I'm giving air a bit of a rest because I also kind of had like an air hunter's ally Jamie, but I was like, yeah, let me see what the other symbols can give me. And so far, I'm working on like a water card pool clog with like acidic sludge and stuff like that.
I want to make Bishop really relevant, and I love how Donatello plays, but there's one issue with Rainy Kaiju for those two decks.
No assets?
We didn't get any assets in Rainy Kaiju. And what, we got two backups?
Yeah. Oh, so interesting thing. Um, so you know how the two backups don't have their stamina printed on them?
Yeah, but they do have
In
stamina.
the in uh the local store like weekly packs that you get,
Yeah.
if you get a backup, it's very faintly printed on there. It's like almost ghosted and see-through. So they tried, but they didn't quite get it.
That's
And
oh.
it
I,
looks so funny. I was like, "Did they fix it?" And my local like shines it to the light and you can barely see the hollow of the heart. And I was like, "Well, they gave it
the
they gave it an effort."
the Patriot webcam hasn't been running for the last few weeks, so I'm not going to. I don't looks like I'm not going to be able to get Godzilla play packs. The Godzilla Facebook community that I'm part of have been showing off theirs because some stores have been giving them to players that buy packets, trying to incentivize them to play. Uh, but they look the fact we got the movie like art in the play packs, like the final wars look so very good.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was gonna say when we got going into there. Because yeah, no, we'll talk about the back. Oh, yes, we'll talk about the backups. Do you know one character that got a slight glow up in the Rainy Kaiju that did not deserve a glow up in any way?
Annie 3
Bearded
or Annie
Titan.
2.
Bearded Titan.
Yeah, I know. I made a whole stupid video about that. About how the worst idea I've ever had is an all infinities bearded titan deck.
Oh no, it's
I
just
just need to
primarily
pull more humanity
because
fights on.
Humanity Fighters on is immediately a 12 diff, which is really cool.
Yeah. But you could also, because of Jaegerist followers, you could play that in Annie Awakened,
Yeah.
whatever. And yeah, that plus Harness on Death. You can just like, I'm just gonna get all this momentum, play a Humanity Fights on, spend all that momentum, make it a low, powerful 3 for a bunch, and then I'm gonna finish you with my Harness on Deaths and just
Yeah,
go
I
absolutely
mean,
nuts.
in the article, Flock Forest was the one that was recommended because you get to build in the Jaeger's followers from the ability, which kind of comes in. I know there's a few people trying to meme with Humanity Fights on. I managed to pull it on Altar. It looks absolutely amazing.
I think I pulled one from my box. That box opening is going live Tuesday.
Uh, I've streamed my box opening. I need to cut up all 7 boxes. But I might start with the UVS box, which was like the last box I opened, and like work backwards. This should be a weird experiment to do, but no. I'm really excited to see. We kind of like with the explosion of the cards on there. I think Ghidorah is in a good place to handle Titan of Terror, which is really weird given that generally I mean, this is a fake 5-hander going up against a fake 7-hander, and traditionally 6-handers have the advantage over 5-handers. But in this situation, I think Ghidorah has the advantage because even if you've got nothing left up your sleeve in the early game to handle the Titan Tower last attack, you have the head counters, so you can always mitigate the damage.
Yeah, I think that's really good.
Yeah. I think like out of all the characters, Fire Rodan, as I've said over, I think that's the only one I never expect to see show up or top a regional. The rest, I can. If people put the work in, I can see all of them doing well enough to, if not top a regional, at least do well at a local championships. I mean, hell, I've won a local championships in the past with Midnight 2, and everyone but me hates Midnight 2.
I like Midnight 2. I put some work into her early on.
I want to try a new Midnight 2 name because we just got a bunch of ranged attacks in, and I'm like, I could do something funny. I like you with the bit of time when I could do something weird. It's like, if I'd have pulled like 4 of the cards I needed in my case, I would not. If I can trade for them at LC, I might do, but I need to kind of sit down because I love playing Midnight 2. It's such a head bang for your opponents. Like, I'm going to freeze your foundations. I'm going to make you discard cards. I'm just going to mess about with what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm just going to be annoying, and eventually I'll win.
So what? When is your local championship?
Well, I don't know. I don't get to go, but there is one this Tuesday in Tulsa. Tuesday at 6 p.m. Joy.
Are you going to that one?
No, I have work. I get off work at 4, and it's 2 hours away.
So what is it you would be playing at a local championships if you could go?
I would probably play... I'd probably play the Anguirus list that I'm working on. The Shin Hashigeki Armor of the Wolf with a bunch of damage reduction.
And for anyone watching that isn't sure what that is, explain what the combination goes, how the combination goes.
So Anguirus is one of the new characters that says all your 5 diff attacks get 1 speed, 2 damage, static. And he's has a response that says each time any attack deals damage, you get a power token. So you open up with Shin Hashigeki, which is the ultra attack from the Ryu Challenger series. It's a 6 mid 4, and it says each time it gets a damage bonus of at least 2, your rival has to commit a card. And you automatically commit 1 once you pass the check for Anguirus' +2. So it's a 7 mid 6. And then you sacrifice all of your power tokens to boost it. And for each power token, your rival also has to commit a foundation. So you tap them out. They likely won't be able to block the Shin Hashigeki. And then you play Armor of the Wolf, which is a 5 mid 5. So it becomes a 6 mid 7. And Armor of the Wolf has a response that says each time your rival passes an enhance, it gets +1 damage. So then you use all of your foundational base and maybe other power tokens, enhances, and just make a giant bomb of Armor of the Wolf, and you can effectively 2-hit almost any character as long as your rival doesn't like seal them or anything. But you can play plenty of counterplay around that.
Yeah, I was gonna say it feels very magical Christmas landy, but it definitely seems to get there.
Oh yeah. Either that or I'd play a backup deck with Harness on Death, because I've been flowing between those kind of 2 different types of decks. Or hell, maybe I would take Mothra and make you eat your words.
You can certainly try, because
I couldn't, because I wouldn't make it in time.
I'd probably take Mark Tyler. It's one I've been working on. I enjoy as much as people hate it. I enjoy playing Mark Tyler because as much as I hate it, it's one of those things that annoys me because I hate it and I hate to do it. But the ability to end my opponent's turn is just such a really cool interaction to me. I've named the deck Shadow Monarch
Shadow Monarch.
because I'm still running. I'm playing it on all, which is like the worst symbol that he has for check hacking.
Yeah, but you do get a whole bunch of unique backups in your shift attacks.
You need your backup to your shifter. You still get Colossal Confrontation, which is the 9-7 high for 10 that makes my opponent run free. I build a card from my hand face down and I get to tutor my deck for a card. But you also get the brand new Malicious Assault, which lets me remove a card from my discard pile to remove 2 cards from my opponent's discard pile, which seems very good against Ghidorah because combining firepower back on people's radars. It's good for Jaguar. It's good.
It's good for Titan of Terror because you can remove 2 of their attacks.
Good for Titan of Terror. Good for a lot. Basically, it's good for a lot of characters at the minute because there's a lot of people looking to mess about with their discard. And then, if the attack deals damage, your rival removes a card from their hand, and it's a 6 high for 6 on face. And given Mark Time's whole thing is about making your checks worse.
Yeah.
I'm dropping that in with Brace for Impact because it's Deadlock Breaker 2, where against Mark Time a lot of people go to Deadlock. Intimidating Size because -3 to my opponent's check if they're cycled seems on brand. And 2 copies of Final Wars because who doesn't love a little bit of risk? But
and a lot of damage. You got damage, you got draw. That's a really good card to put in. Mark Tyner.
For Mark Tyner, being able to have 2 Final Wars down, turn Colossal Confrontation to a 7-12, and then also with things like Bear Bite going, cool, my Bear Bite hit you, I'll draw 2 cards. Seems really, really cool. He lost a lot of unique cards. So I think like the backups being able to be used is absolutely solid. But my Titan's in a real weird place. Other than that, I'd probably run Titan of Terror or Space Godzilla because I'm high. I'm high on space. I'm high on check hacking at the minute. I feel we're still in a fairly aggressive mid-rangey meta, so for me, I love going. You need to overcommit or lose a card from your hand, and that puts my foot in a bad place.
Yeah, you would love playing Wen in retro then, because that was the guy I ran real hard with. Probably one of my favorite retro decks I've ever built, because it does 2 things I love: character stacking and check hacking. We're stacking and hacking.
I know Michael Murray's had a good win. Let's look. 5 cost, 5 handsets, 35 health, air, earth, evil. 4 months per turn, ready all cards in your staging area. If you have 3 or fewer characters in your staging area, your combat phase ends. If you have 4 more characters in your staging area, your opponent commits all of their foundations, playable while committed, because it has to be.
Yeah. And what's great is you can play that going first, so you can just ready everything up and then build all your stuff down, so you can keep him up.
Well, no, because if you don't have all 4 characters on when you first turn, your turn ends.
Yeah, so you play like your 3 or 4 foundations, and then activate that form, so you go into your rival's turn with when ready for the second ability.
But the second ability, response commit. After your opponent makes a check, that check gets -X. X equals the number of characters in your staging area. Fail that check does not end the combat phase. Shame you can't ready him up. Oh, he has. Shame you can't ready him up, but.
What do you mean, shame you can't ready him up?
In your opponent's turn.
There are cards on air that can like sacrifice to ready your character.
Oh.
But I basically played him with a bunch of air cards that could ready him on both turns, and that says the number of characters, I think, +1, but also it doesn't say non-foundation card.
True.
So if I have him ready going into your first turn, I could check hack if you check a 3. I could check hack your foundation and make sure you lose that one of your foundations.
Yeah, I mean, my first character, one that I'm trying to rebuild, was Vega, who 719 commit your opponent's check gets -1. If they pass it, ready. If they fail it, you keep in the combat phase. Desperation, all your opponent's attacks get -1 speed and +1 difficulty. All your attacks get -1 difficulty and +1 speed.
Yeah, Vega's pretty good.
Yeah,
and now that retro can be played for money, I might be putting some more work into some of my retro characters.
Ooh.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to any of the regionals this year, so it's not like I can actually play for money, but I definitely would if I was competing this year.
Not having access to regionals, what is that like? Not being able to go to regionals, I have no idea.
Difference between us, mine's a choice.
I mean, technically
they didn't give you a choice.
Technically, mine is also a choice because I could go to Chicago if I had.
I wouldn't recommend it.
If I had infinite resources.
Yeah. If infinite resources, I would go to every regional this year.
If I had infinite resources, infinite time, and a different political climate, and not on the verge of a pandemic over here as well.
Yeah, stay safe over there, man.
Yeah, we got notifications going through like, oh yeah, the UK could go into lockdown in May. I'm like, cool. We're doing a sequel. I really hate it when they remake stuff from like the last 4 years.
Yeah, and the sequels are never as good as the original, so it's just you're in for
That's not true. There's a few sequels that are better than the originals.
Name one.
I
rest my case.
Muppets Most Wanted.
Is that technically a sequel? I don't count multiple.
It's a
I don't
direct
count things
sequel.
like that as sequels.
But it's a direct sequel from the Muppets movie that came before, because it literally starts when the movie ends, and it follows on from the hype they got from that movie.
Okay, I can kind of see that.
And it's better because they're on tour. It's got Ricky Gervais just being played into the character which he is in real life. You've got the whole thing with like the dad from Modern Family and Sam the Bald Eagle like having the bigger badges. It's just a better movie than the first Muppets movie. There is a list. I'm gonna Google this. Sequels.
I think we're getting a bit off topic.
No, I need to win this one because I know I'm right.
You win. Oh, you know what? Empire Strikes Back.
No.
Godfather 2?
Never seen The Godfather.
Ah. Well, I mean, you're British.
So on this list, Shrek 2 apparently. Again,
okay, I can see that.
For Puss in Boots.
I can see that.
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which is technically.
I've heard that was really good. I have not seen any of the Puss in Boots movies myself.
John Wick 4.
I need to rewatch all the John Wick movies. I'd have to rewatch all of them to see which one I like the best. But I did like a lot of things in
4. Logan.
Logan was good.
Hellboy: The Golden Army. Wow, we're going really into
fast.
You see Hellboy?
Hot take.
Yeah.
Whatever the Hellboy was with not the Crooked Man.
Ooh.
Because the Crooked Man was awful, but the Hellboy with the sheriff from Stranger Things as Hellboy, that movie deserved more love than it got. That movie was great.
The remake.
Yeah, the remake for Hellboy. That movie was great. I don't know why people hated on it so much.
I'm gonna get you in a technicality.
All right.
Star Wars: The Last Hope.
The Last Hope?
Yeah. The first movie, but technically a sequel to the prequels.
I'm sorry. Do you mean A New Hope?
A New Hope. That's one. So yes.
Wow,
No.
you're gonna get me on a technicality. You couldn't even name the fucking movie right.
I'm tired. You know,
I was
I
like,
mean,
Last Hope.
yeah,
What
no,
is
so,
this? Like Last
like
Jedi hoping it's
any of
better?
them. Last Jedi, A New Hope. Uh,
I will say Last Jedi got more shit than it deserved.
but they're all better than the Clone Wars, which they are technically sequels to.
Technically.
Technically, so there are sequels better than the movies that technically become before them chronologically. Actually, if we open that kind of worms, it gets really weird because like Dumb and Dumber is better than the prequel.
I hate
Anyway,
prequels anyway, so.
they're okay if they're done well. Like the Scooby Doo ones are really good.
It's just so hard for me to get invested in a prequel because I already know where it's going. So it's unless I'm absolutely curious about like a character's backstory, couldn't give less of a fuck about a prequel.
I mean, I like the Dexter prequel series we got because it introduced a bunch of new characters that weren't in the original series. So it's like, oh, cool. There's a bunch of people I get to care about because I don't know what's going to happen to them. And one of them is Sarah Michelle Gellar.
I gave up on Dexter halfway through, but following a channel that does like recaps of all the series and stuff, I love the lore of the stories of the Dexter characters and stuff like that, and I'm like super interested in the sequel series. Man, I don't want to watch it.
Oh, the sequel
I just want someone to tell me what happens.
For me, we're now with Dexter. We'll get back to cards soon, I swear. For me, the weird thing is in the books, the dark passenger that Dexter has is a literal demon that urges him to kill. It's not like a psychopathic thing or like a mental state. It's a literal demon that's attached itself to him.
Yeah, and there's a lot more twisted villains in the books.
Yeah.
Like the guy who turns his victims into yodeling potatoes. Don't look that up unless you're very curious.
Speaking of sinister villains, Shin Godzilla. I've been told he's the second worst character. I'm quite sold on him. Blake has abused him. I think he gives Shigaraki 1 vibes.
Yeah, definitely. You know what, like, offbeat character I really want to play now? Karasu.
Oh.
Karasu with Oxygen Destroyer, Acidic Sludge to clog the card pool, the Shin Godzilla Echo, and Trace Eyes.
Yeah.
You're just playing a whole bunch of 4-diffs and saying, catch, I'm gonna blow up everything.
I did. Jeremy put Reina Oxygen Destroyer, but yeah. Karasu Oxygen Destroyer seems legit. Yeah.
Yeah, because you got Oxygen Destroyer, Trace Eyes, Acidic Sludge, and then the Shin Godzilla Ultra that's a 4-diff if something's been destroyed. You're just running all 4-diff attacks at that point.
I mean, you can run Lunar Ring, I believe, still.
Yeah, on death.
Yep.
The 5-diff I've chosen is 80% power.
Oh yeah.
So I can nuke my rival's best card and give them 2 face-down committed foundations. So that way, hey, you have more foundations for me to destroy.
Yeah, no.
And I'll blow up your moment of normalcy. Get bent.
No, that actually sounds legit.
I'll shoot you the list.
You can still run Warped Pleasure. You can still run. So you literally get them to you get them to 5 foundations, and then you just keep hitting them. And you don't even need power tokens in Karasu because he just gives damage equal to the number of destroyed foundations.
Yeah. Whoops, that's full screened. Let's go to that.
No, that's actually.
Yeah, check. I just sent you the list, so check that out at your convenience. Because I'm also running Willie Tiber to rebuild my foundations to blow them up more, and I can blow him up as well. And I'm running Tri-Gravity Beam just to rip the last card out of your hand.
Yeah, Tri-Gravity Beam, you can run Enormous Axe, you can Reinforcement, so you're technically never really going down the foundations, and you can use those later on in the turn because you commit them, the static still triggers. Now that is actually a really solid idea.
Honestly, you're kind of just racing the aggro meta because the deck doesn't have a lot of defense yet, but I do really enjoy this deck. It's got like fighting for control, weapon clash, uh Taguro's dominance, Keiko's aid. It's got a bunch of like zero diffs with breaker
yeah,
and stuff like the Shin Godzilla arrives, abrupt loss. Yeah. It's mainly here to just pop a bunch of stuff and try to kill you very, very quickly.
yeah. I mean, because you're on deaf, you still get the best zero diff we have, which is Botan's coaching. See, there's all the rest now suck.
Yep, but you also get Prideless Negotiations, which is a breaker as a
Yep.
zero diff, and a +2 mid. You get Syndicate target, and the one of the main reasons I wanted to play this off death was Acidic Sludge to be like, cool, I'm gonna put a card in your card pool to make it hard to block. I'm also gonna spend a momentum and put 2 6-checks on top of my deck,
Yeah.
and just be like, let's go, let's have a little fun here.
No, it's actually a really, really solid concept.
Like I said, I don't really know how much defenses it has. I just kind of fever dream built it on my break at work. And I was like, I need to get these cards. This looks fun. Let's experiment with this.
Well, the thing about it is, your games are going to be over quickly because basically they're either going to kill you, but we're also living in a meta where people either need to hit early, like Tiny Tower needs to hit something early, or they're just sat waiting to set up. Space Godzilla needs to set up. Ghidorah needs to set up. Everyone kind of needs a little bit of time set up, whereas you're looking at a deck here where you go, I'm going to build 5 foundations, and that's all I need to kill you.
Yeah, I'm going to build 5, and then you better buckle up.
Yeah. Karasu is a deaf fire.
Death Evil Fire.
Deaf evil fire. I was gonna say, if he had auto be able to run King of Alien and stuff, just go, yeah, I'm gonna debuff you in multiple ways.
Yeah, nah, he's not that crazy.
No, that's actually a really solid concept. And there's a lot of characters that kind of got these little secret nerfs kind of things, secret buffs, because everyone kind of focuses on the brand new shiny toys, but like there's a lot of characters that currently exist that also got a lot stronger. We got the original Titanoterra, Elder Segoro, which is like it has got a bunch of new backups, got a bunch of new actions that they can discard to play things from the discard. They still have to make the check, but they've now got a whole new way to it. We've got Rhino 3, who gets access to power tokens, making it easier for him to transform. And
you get tension. So if you get a power token generation and a tension card in the same turn, you're flipping really quick.
Yep, and the token counts as a different card in your stage, so you get an additional damage point. You get to have a static +5. That's nuts.
Yeah. Play that with a mostly throw build.
Yeah, that's kind of falling to a little bit of setup, but on your first turn, if you can get a power token and a tension, like you said, you transform, and you're done. Yeah, you get easy peasy. I think that's really, really cool.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Here's a question: what do we think of Bladed Uppercut in Mikasa 4?
Bladed Uppercut.
Because that's the one with Frenzy and like every keyword under the sun. It's a 4 diff. It's like a 4/4, but you play that late in a string, give it the Frenzy, and then just throw even more damage on it.
I think it's win more. I think Mikasa doesn't really need it. I think
just trying to think of some other like small buffs that people might not have been paying attention to with Reign of Kaiju.
But what about Bladed Uppercut Mei Hatsumi?
I do like that. I like Bladed Uppercut with any character that can run Patchwork Babies. So
But it's the fact that you got they all get all my keywords get +1, and then May gets to choose one and increase it further. And
yeah,
if you put babies and stuff, the babies asset in there as well, you can go. You can have a stun 4, a powerful 5.
absolutely.
I think
I think that's really strong. And it's really neat as a four diff. I really like it as a four diff.
yeah, definitely. I'm trying to think.
Let's see what's
I'm trying to think of
other.
other cards that have got like other cards that have got power ups that we might possibly see rear the head of the local championships.
Hmm.
I think Bridget hasn't had the time in the sun yet. I think they really will pop out soon.
As stupid as it sounds, play an all throws fresh cut grass, picking up wound restore and repair.
Ooh,
Just first form,
repair.
remove, gain 6 health, get a power token, slap that on a throw.
I think we're gonna after Tekken we're gonna see a lot more from Ryu. Ryu did a lot of worlds, and I think we're gonna see a lot more punches and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've got Leatherhead. Leatherhead got some.
Yep, Leatherhead got some love at the uh what's a place? The
Really
final
catchy.
round LC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was 2 Leatherheads at the final round LC.
Did they stream it? Because I didn't see anything from it.
I don't think so. I don't think they
Oh.
streamed it. But yeah, Bridget was there, Irwin won.
Irwin won. Wow.
Yep. Irwin won. Fern was there.
Ah,
Jacob Johnson. What shocked me as a one of Armin Arlert, Brilliant Mind. Armin,
really?
like the Origins of Power one.
Yeah.
What someone took that to an LC. I'm like, I want to see that list because I want to know what you thought you were doing.
With all these actions, is there a world where the mages of Critical Role become more relevant? Alora, Caleb, Essex.
I've been tweaking with Allura with a lot of the check hacking, like the chaos action that can either make your rival's next check -2 or your next check +2. Add that with the Fortitude of the Armored Titan to really slow your rival down
Hmm.
and stockpile a bunch of momentum.
When it came to PvE, I wanted to play Grog, but I didn't have an altar, and I was being feeling lazy because I think Grog versus Gigan is going to be really good.
Yeah.
Uh,
A friend of mine was talking about Oxygen Destroyer Mirko 2 because it's a
yeah,
Fury.
yeah, and you have to destroy foundations to ready up Miracle. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep, and then you just clear the Oxygen Destroyer once it hits, and then play it from your discard pile again, and then clear it when it hits, and then play it from your discard pile again. So basically, as many times as you can ready Mirko and keep passing that 4-check,
Yeah,
you
because
can just keep Oxygen Destroyers.
basically we've given Mirko the combo that we errated Mikasa for.
Yeah, pretty
Cool.
much.
Yeah. No, yeah. Actually, I think that would be a really solid area because all you need is to get the oxygen shot in your discard. I guess you have to hit to do it. I believe.
Yeah, it does need to deal damage. But I mean, it's a lows and people don't hold low blocks apparently.
Yeah. So yeah, all you do is catch your opponent sleeping on the low.
And it comes in as a 5 low 6 because Mirko gives your next one 1/1. And then you just keep doing that, I guess.
Oh, bear in mind. Sacrifice from Foundation, search your deck for a card, build it face down. You may not play attacks for the rest of the turn. Response after you play a keyword or outwit ability, you have a quick Foundation. If this is the third time you play this turn, commit this card. That's a weird one to play.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, there are some outwits, on those symbols, but like
What's the reign of Kaiju card that made you want to play this?
yeah, what are you working with here? Like if he had ways to pick up cards from his stage, like if he had the good symbol for like Sisenho, I'd maybe see that, but I'm just like, yeah, because outwit on death and order. There's 11 cards. Well, there's 11 cards that say outwit. So let's just look at outwit foundations. There's 9 outwit foundations.
Yeah.
After rival draws, after one or more cards are committed, like Yelena's Machinations is good. Battle Plans is good. Risky Gamble if your rival's drawing, which I guess you can force them to draw with Botan's coaching. Desperate Tactics, I guess. But, like, I don't see why. Because you do have to build the card face down, right?
Yeah.
For Armin.
Yeah, you get middle face down. There are ways to unflip them. So like you Doctor just saw that. Yeah, the 6 characters here are just 6 characters I randomly picked based on just like the Flock Forest there is based on like memes. Mark Tyler's based on issues like with his abilities. The Titan Terror is on the screen because it's won multiple LCs at this point. Ghidorah, Jacob Johnson has been represented at a lot of LCs over the weekend. Nogo Yuki's there because Nogo Yuki got second at Worlds, and I think is going to be popping up a bit more as well. Here's the big one though. Here's a question for you, Cameron. Where's all the Devil Gins?
People don't like that guy.
With Worlds, with this Devil Gin that kind of like has disappeared. Izuku Midoriya, where's all the Midoriya players?
I think a lot of that comes down to shiny new toy syndrome. I think once people have gotten their fill of trying the new things out, we might see some of these older characters be like, all right, let's actually see if these can be fixed up a little bit. I think an Evil Devil Jin could make like Bladed Uppercut work really well. Throw that after your rival's blocked 3 attacks and then give it a huge damage bonus.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff Devil Jin can really pop. There's not really many card pull enhancers. I think there's a couple. But I think they're doing much.
What's his symbols?
Chaos, Evil, Fire.
Chaos, Evil, Fire, Standard. The only new one he got is Gravity Beam Volley, and he's not playing that card.
No, he's not.
Although that is a 1-card infinite combo in Hero 2.
Oh, I mean, Mechagodzilla Q got some new toys to play with. Yeah, Merkel 2 got a bit of a power increase.
I've got a friend who's been teching with Hiei for a while.
Really?
Yeah, he was using it as a mutant machine equipment heist Hiei, but I told him, I was like, don't play that, because if you like get the equipment, the mutant machines in your hand, because he was only running 2, I'm like, it's not worth it. So I told him to switch to like what, eliminate all humans, the Superfly one that gives 2 damage to all your stuff and gives your rival's next check -2. I was like, play that because you're having trouble with damage in Hiei. And the very next week after he made that change, they banned equipment heist. I looked like super psychic.
Here's another big question. Where's King of Monsters? Like, is it just shiny new toy syndrome, or is it that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's shiny new toy syndrome, because I could absolutely see King of the Monsters running like the well, there was 2 Godzilla King of the Monsters at final round, according to this mock-up.
Oh.
But I could definitely see that with the what?
Where you seeing the mock-up?
They shared it on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
They shared their character breakdown on Facebook.
I've not been that active on Facebook in the last couple of days. I've been doing a lot of spring cleaning.
Here, I'll send you it on Discord so you can take a
I
look.
mean,
Because that's what
if they
I've been
posted them.
grabbing all of this info from.
Oh, actually, Chris streamed the Chris streamed the ball one. Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Chris
Tiny
stream.
Tower one.
Yeah,
They had
but
5 Titanoterrors, two Space Godzillas, two Godzillas. Oh yeah, that's a hell of a breakdown.
yeah. That's why I said like all the one ofs, and you see like Armin over there, and it's like, what were you doing? I'm very
Might
curious.
just be someone who likes Armin. I thought like this, Rodan. Yeah,
Yeah, two Leatherheads. Yeah, I think King of the Monsters will definitely make a comeback. I do think it's very much shiny new toy syndrome, but like him with that new 5-3 secret rare that gets you 2 power tokens,
mm.
just instantly you can just keep playing Lowe's Godzilla again and just blow people out.
Oh, definitely.
I think regular Ghidorah's gotten some more stuff. I know people are afraid of, the whole megalomania, but
I think
honestly, like look at that the most represented characters there. I don't know if you have to worry about megalomania. A lot of these characters like can play it, but based on what they're looking to do, they're probably playing
no,
the non-megalomania symbol.
yeah, but
So
again, that's going into what I was saying more before. If Titan of Terror is becoming the meta, then you can't really Megalomania doesn't matter to Titan of Terror. You
yeah,
need to be able to do stuff in your opponent's turn, kind of thing, which is where like the issue comes in. Because even if things like Eri Smiles was still in the game, if you block and go with Eri Smiles and go cool, play no form, they go you play no attack, go yeah sure cool, I'll play Foundation, then I'll form for free because
yeah,
I just get to do that. There's not many ways to interact with that form, and there's not many ways to seal your opponent apart from we've got the new found. We have got the new action. If they play like the same ability on the same card twice, you get to seal something.
yeah. You can seal their character with that.
Yeah, main issue with Tiny Terror is it's not your turn you're worried about. Like with Mothra, it's your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't
Let's
know
see,
how to
who
play Facebook
else
Wall
did
Street.
we see?
But yeah, I mean, like Spike, not Spike. There's a fair few things. Ground Forces Engage, I think King of Monsters is going to absolutely love. I can't believe how cheap this card is. Like the Infinity 5 diff with Stubborn, this is your next attack is +2 speed. If they have 10 or more foundations, it's +5 speed.
Yeah, that's really good.
Seems absolutely nuts to me. Yeah, I do expect to see King of Monsters kind of make a comeback. Same with Rodan. I'm not too sure if the original Ghidorah is going to come back now. The new Ghidorah just seems so much cooler.
True, but I think for the control, like if you're a control player and not necessarily the like faux aggro player, I think I could see you wanting to play something like the Ghidorah, which allows you to just play your cards from your discard and stuff. You got Ghidorah Unleashed, uh, which you can remove. Play something else from your card discard pile. Play King Ghidorah Unleashed from your remove from play pile. I could definitely see something like that being what someone would be more attracted to.
I mean,
And maybe you
yeah,
prefer the death symbol to the all symbol.
but I mean, if you want to play stuff you discard for free, you've got Titan of Terror just sat there now. You don't have to discard a card for.
True.
There's some, if you want to play King Ghidorah Unleashed, there's some very easy ways to remove cards from your hand. I've been playing some Gigan, and there's that 4 diff from the original Ghidorah set that's like remove a card from your hand. It removes that after it resolves. You go cool. I'll remove King Ghidorah Unleashed from my hand. And I can place at any point. You can incubating in your own turn. to do
Yep.
stuff like that. There's some very silly ways you can pop it off. It's a very cool utility card that does get technically increase your hand size, especially defensively. Be able to go incubating. I'll now pop off for this. But no, the meta's in a unique place.
The meta's in a state of flux.
Yeah, it's kind of cooling down from the shiny toy syndrome. I'm not too sure where it's gonna go.
Yeah, I do think we'll see more like Midoriya's come back. I think we'll see more King of the Monsters. I definitely expect to see like Rodan, the original Rodan, come back. I think a lot of people are just trying to see what the new cards can do and seeing if they can
Yeah.
break anything with that before reverting to things they might be like more comfortable with. And again, these are LCs, which yeah, do have like some really cool prizes on the line, but they're not regionals.
But
So
there's
this may be like a testing ground for more slightly more competitive stuff just to see if something has legs and maybe is worth working on more, but it's not the thing you're betting the house on.
but there's the rub. For us, it is.
But
LC's are
yes,
all we've got.
but I'm talking about like specifically the ones that have gone on like this
Yeah.
weekend, where it's like, yeah, you're seeing if what you think of these new competitive things can actually work. But these might not be like the builds people are betting on for like regionals.
But in Spain next week, in Patriots Sheffield next week, do you think with these being like the first chances for us to get Worlds invites, because Levi's as well may as well have said in when he had his chat with Tam, the UK is going to get about 32 invites this year to Worlds, which is not an insignificant amount depending, but it means that basically in your local area you're going to have 4 chances to get an invite,
Yeah.
which means
Isn't Spain the group that really loves Midoriya on the move?
no, that is just Kevin.
Okay. Well, he's going to be playing. If he still loves Midoriya on the move, he needs to be playing Fruit Tart Gourmand and Bug Bite so he can constantly flash people's characters and then ready his character.
Yeah, he's probably on that, but that's not a bad way to. I'm sure Kevin has been working on a new Midoriya if he hasn't got shiny new toy syndrome already.
You could actually play the face down, like where you're like actually flipping cards in your card pool with Midoriya, and then transform, then turn your stage sideways and throw a growing grasp, ignoring progressive difficulty because face downs don't count.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is where like this conversation came up, because for us, LCs are all we've got. So this is our height of competitiveness, and the first your first, like you said, the first ones you guys have had. This is just like your starting point. You've got
Yeah.
regionals to go. You could people may not even be bringing their main testing stuff at the moment because they don't want to give away what they're going to be playing regionals. But for us next week, it's our first and for some people only chance to get an invite to Worlds.
Yeah. Yeah, I do wonder how much shiny new toy syndrome is going to play into that then, because if this is like you one of your only chances to go to Worlds, do you play with the shiny new toy character or do you play the character you've been grinding so much, maybe with some shiny new toys thrown in?
But you also have to take into account how well do the older characters, like if I've been grinding Nick Reagan for all last year,
Then you're doing something wrong.
do I risk it? Well, if I spent the last 3 months practicing my Ashley Fulton deck, she's now legal. I have no locals. I didn't go to Worlds. It's my first chance to play Ashley Fulton competitively. But can she keep up with the shiny new toys?
That is a question. And does she get some benefit from some of the shiny
Yeah,
new toys?
there's there's so much to kind of factor in at the minute, and
I think the first round of LCs is gonna be a bit of a grab bag
yeah,
because you have a lot of theory crafting, but not a lot of like unless you've had these cards on TTS and you've been putting in like hours a week doing the testing, you don't have a lot of like hardcore data for how these cards work with your more standard characters. So the first round of LCs might just be kind of a grab bag mix and match until people get more comfortable with the cards.
so just before we wrap up and like head off, I do want to bring up like how weirdly named the seasons are this year because I don't
They're
know.
named.
Well, yeah. So uh, instead of like last year, we had season one, season two, season three when it came to like local championships. This time they're rounds. So we have
Oh,
so at the minute now we're in round one of local championships, which
interesting.
so I brought up on
I've just
Discord.
been calling him Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4.
Yeah, so if you wanted, so say you recorded your local championships and then you wanted to put up on YouTube, it would be UKVersus round one local championships round one, which
Yeah.
feels really weird to say. And I was watching.
Or I would just shorten it to R1, like UKVersus R1 local championship.
Yeah, but then people the games sort of it was like round one. Like I was watching Christmas stream and the title was Bar Hat Round One Local Championships. And then, so if you came in like 3 hours and it's like, is this still round one?
Yeah, that is a little rough. Maybe Levi can fix the naming
Yeah,
convention next year.
I was just like, so because for like the last week, I've been working on custom transitions, and I've bought like I bought a mount that allows me to have 3 webcams off it, which is really cool.
Oh, neat.
So I'm gonna try and like have face cams and table play all the same. Basically, I'm trying to do a Iron Man 1 of what UVS does. Like, maybe they've got all the budget and production and team. I want to try and build it with a box of scraps.
Well, if anyone can do it.
Yeah, exactly. I've got the craziness to get behind it, and
I do not.
I'm going for it. Like, what am I going to call it? It's like, well, you call it like the season of the local championships. So I was like, cool. So it'd be Patriot Games UKVersus Round One Local Championships. It's like that sounds wrong.
A little bit. It is odd. I didn't notice that mainly because, like I said, I don't pay attention to a lot of competitive stuff because I don't get to compete very often.
Yeah,
So it's more of a hey, I might be able to make it to that one city this year.
yeah.
So that's the only one I focus on.
It's primarily something only uh, content creators and possibly new players are going to pick up on because for established players, you don't think about it. You just go, oh, it's local championships. Whereas
Yeah.
if you're new to the game coming in, you go, oh, it's a round one local championships. Like, round one? Okay.
Well, or you could just like not put round 1 in the title
Yeah.
and you can put it in like the description.
Yeah, I guess it's also if you like go to the website to look it up. I haven't actually checked if they've updated the organized play on UVS because the way they describe regionals for like is a bit has always been a bit annoying for me after the announcement. What is going on there? Oh,
I do not know.
so yeah, basically in the organized play, after the announcement that there was no international regionals, it still said on organized play like regionals are where the community gets to meet up from around the world and play. It's like, is it though? Is it?
Not right now, not this year. Hopefully next year. Hopefully you guys get everything that's coming to you next year. Because you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
are owed.
Regionals, competitive gatherings where the community comes to compete for promos, Prizes and a shot at worlds. It's like okay, yeah. It's a better way of putting it.
There you go.
But no, it's a. I mean, the UVS have got so much going on that this is not like a key thing for them to really know what's going on. I mean, like people have been struggling with UGN to even get events going.
Yeah.
Did
A
so?
lot of issues with Card.io, I keep hearing.
Uh, was it final round that someone had an illegal deck in the finals as well, or was that a different Star Championship?
I'm not sure. I did hear about that, but
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure.
Well, it's
I
because
do know that our just locals, our 6-person locals, in the third round, we only had 2 undefeateds, and it didn't pair the 2 undefeateds against each other.
why?
I don't know. That's just what Card.io did. So we manually repaired it to where me and the only other undefeated could face each other. And no one faced a duplicate opponent. So I was like, why didn't Card.io just do this?
It's weird. If it was just pure wins, I don't get it. If there's ties drawn in, then it can get a bit weirder.
Nope. There were no ties, no draws yet. Nothing happened.
Yeah, I
It
believe
was
it's done
just
that in
they
the.
did it.
I believe it's done in the past with me when I played in Southampton as well. But yeah, I mean, there was an illegal deck at day one of Worlds, which again, and it as much as it's on players, especially at like the Worlds and regional level, to know their deck is legal, human error exists, and
Yeah.
UGN should be there to catch human error. And
Yeah, you would think the software would be more than just a cut and paste job.
yeah, and at the local level, at local Star Championship level, where you can have people showing up for their first ever event, it should not be on them to know their deck is completely legal because they still might be coming to terms with it. They're just going to enter it into UGN and trust UGN knows what it's doing because it's the
Yeah.
official deck builder.
This is why I think we should be able to export UVS Ultra into UGN
I
because
mean,
that'll tell you if your deck's legal or not.
if you use UKVersus.cards, you can actually import UGN and Ultra lists into their builder. So essentially, you just be
Yeah.
reversing that.
That sounds complicated.
Well, no, basically you just take the URL of the deck that you've got in the other ones. You put it in UKVersus.cards and it generates your deck list in that other deck builder.
Oh, okay.
So you basically just want that, but in UGN. And I get that they'd have to acknowledge Ultra and UKVersus cards exist to have like importing. But
Yeah.
as like Nick Reagan said, people are having to build their decks twice. He was saying people should be using Ultra first, and it's crazy to me that people have to go to Ultra or UKVersus cards, build their deck, check it's legal, then go to UGN and do the exact same thing again.
Yeah. I completely agree. I don't like the deck builder on UGN anyway. I'm just so used to Ultra now. That's so much more second nature to me to use. So it's just, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's wild. I mean it's wild. There's so much wild stuff going on at the minute. You've got the deck builders allowing illegal decks. The judge programs are in shambles for UVS and Riftbound at the minute.
Oh, are they? I had not heard
Oh,
that.
you don't know what this? So, yes.
Man, I'm not called Hermit for nothing.
So last year we got the judge program and we were told, yeah, level 2, here's your level 1 quiz. Level 2 will be out by the end of the year. And we've never seen level 2. And Riftbound drops in October and the level 1 quiz drops quite quickly. And so level 2 is coming soon. And it never appears. And then in the Riftbound Judge Discord, because if you are part of that, UVS
Nope.
drops a message in there. It's a massive long one, but essentially Chris Norcross basically stated that a member of staff left last year who was in charge of the judge programs and getting everything up to date and took everything with them. So they took all, according to the message that Chris put into the Riftbound Judge Discord, the level 1 judge program was rough and they're currently working on overhauling the entire system, having a brand new judge system in place, but it's going to take time because everything was taken with them when the former member of staff left, and that's why there's been no update or anything like that. And like, yeah, that's a perfectly valid excuse as to why there's been nothing new for judge programs and stuff like that. So yeah, it's wild. It's wild. I didn't expect that to be just a random Discord message. I thought that would be something that was announced or mentioned, not just randomly put into a judge Discord.
Apparently not.
But I've generally stopped covering Riftbound news after I told people to stop playing sweaty competitive decks at locals the entire time, and people started shouting at me for basically saying I just need to get good at get good at the game and stop complaining about losing. It's like, you realize I live in the middle of nowhere. I don't actually get to play the game. I'm just listening to what feedback people are saying, but they're sick of taking on the same competitive sweaty meta decks. I want to actually have some fun playing. So I'm kind of like, yeah. But then again, what do you expect when you build a game around League of Legends?
Probably. Like, I did the demo, game seemed fun, had a hard time getting a hold of product, and then I saw how the meta was shaking up and how it's just like, if you're not playing like one of these two characters, you're just not gonna have a good time. I'm like, well, I don't want to play this game now.
Yeah,
so I just gave my Riftbound stuff to a local player who plays Riftbound. And I was like, here, have fun. I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah, I mean, it's surprising. It's done really well. It's just not taking off in my area, and it's a case of like, if I wanted to, I'm already paying for one game that isn't taking off, that I get to make content around. I'm not going to pay for another game that the people are going to have a go for making content on and it isn't actually taking off in my area. So I picked up a third game,
Grand Archive. You're going to play Shard Bugs.
So I picked up a third game, Grand Archive, which hasn't taken off in my area. But there is one store that is a half an hour train journey with me that plays this game. So I will actually get to play it at some point. And it's got a brand new sandbox, which is really cool. And yeah, I've also been playing
the Grand Archive or the Shard Bugs.
Shard Bugs is really cool. It's a really cool game. Everything's done in house. So essentially, I'm the only. I've been demoing it when I go to other stores, like make content or play the game. It's a really, really good, fun, cool game. I got to do I got to kick off reveal season, which was really cool.
I saw that.
Which was, I mean, they gave me a really cool card. I've been approaching stores in the UK, and if anyone knows a store in the UK that wants to try out a really cool game, they look into it. They do distribution like in house, which is really cool. But they're kind of like, it's a very slow. They try slow off the ground launch. They do lots of stuff in America, but with tariffs and stuff like that, it's very hard to get stuff out at the minute.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, I mean, but yeah, like they sent me some stuff to open and have a look at, and it got delayed because of tariffs. They had to pay extra once it had arrived here, which is why it took so long for me to get here. But yeah, but the main reason I'm looking at all these games is I love UKVersus. I think this is one of the best card games I've ever had here. But in full honesty, I don't know how the game recovers competitively after this year, outside of NA.
Yeah.
We're 3 months into the year.
Because it kind of feels like you have nothing to work towards.
But it's not even just that. It's people are going to move away to other games. I've been talking with some people, like a couple of people that were looking to get into making content, and they've moved away from it. People that joined the game early last year, and like the early into like last year, and there are people like the Dobbers and people from Sheffield who have got their big local communities. They're like, yeah, we'll play for the love of the game. It's like, yeah, I'm going to carry on playing for the love of the game, but there's a lot of people that are just going, what are we working towards? What are we playing for? If we have to go to America to take part in the big events, we've got an entire year here, and we're 3 months into the year. We are 5 months out from when they made the initial announcement, and they keep talking about 2027 and going, "Oh, stick around for 2027. It's going to be great." Cool. Could you let us know why it's going to be great? What have you got what have you got planned here? And
Because you get invincible at the end of the year.
and fair play to UVS. I was like, oh, what are they doing? Just hoping stores will show up, and stores have. So it's a testament to the local game store group in UVS, because we've got pre-releases and local championships in Belgium, in France, in Portugal, in places that have never picked up this game before, and that's really cool to see. I was skeptical that they're not making the push, but if you do the research, if you look into where events are going, you can see they're doing the push, but they're not telling anyone they're making that push. You have to be observant. You need to be looking at all the information, all the data. The majority of players don't care. They look for events in their local area, and they stop looking. Whereas UVS drops a list of places playing events for me. I look through it all just so I can just see where's picking up the game. Like the fact we've got 5 local championships in Oceania, and it's among all like their coasts, which is really cool. We've got events going on all over Europe, but then again, Scotland didn't get one, which is really weird.
This is also just for the first half of the year, so they might get one they might get 1 or 2 in the second half.
They might get one in the second. They might get one. But this is like just the first half of the year. But again, but for me, I've input a interview request for organized play. It's been sat there for about a week, 2 weeks now, with like all my questions. But it's the fact we got 15 events when we were told we could get up to 20, and the big backlash from that is, oh, you were told you're getting up to 20, doesn't mean you're gonna get 20. And I'm like, that grammatically annoys me, because you're technically correct, but if I tell someone you can have up to 20 biscuits and then I cut them off at 15, they're going to ask, why can't I have 5 more biscuits? You told me I can have up to 20. You only cut people off when it's a bad thing, like, oh, it can take up to 20 minutes to fix your car, and they fix it in 15, like, that's great, good job, you didn't need the 20, but if you're told you can have up to 20 minutes to pass to take this exam, you go, cool, and they cut you off at 15, it's like, you lied to me. It's like, no, I said you can have up to 20, and I cut you off at 15. You see, so technically you're correct, but
I don't think it helps that it still feels like the company's working with a skeleton crew, and that skeleton crew rotates people out fairly regularly from what I can hear.
Yeah,
I think that is the two main things that are holding them back, is that they're working with very few people comparatively to other like bigger games, and those people kind of just like the judge person or Josh, they just leave, and the work's half done, and it's kind of hard to work from that.
Yeah,
so it feels like you're constantly starting over.
I mean, staff turnover is its own issue. The political climate, the tariff climate, everything that's been going on. I mean, last year we had games announced that were coming out that last year that never actually hit the market. I don't know if anyone remembers that before Worlds 2024, they announced Roll for It, which never came out. When they announced TMNT, they announced Castle Panic TMNT, never came out. We never got updates as to what happened with those games. It just kind of got swept under the rug, where only certain crazy conspiracy theories even remember those were ever announcements.
I don't pay any attention to anything that's not UVS. That's not UKVersus.
That's fair. But I actually, when I looked at the games, I looked at how to play them, and I did content them. So like, the Castle Panic TMNT for me seemed like it was going to be a really cool collaboration. But yeah, I thought like we were done with staff turnover, but there seems to be a lot. If you go to like the UKVersus page, it seems to be updating quite a lot. We don't know what happens internally at UVS, if it's just people moving up and down, moving on. You get a certain level of turnover at every level, and apart from Josh, there hasn't been a massive shake-up for a while. Because like we lost Alex a few years ago, when he left the position, and then aside from Josh departing last year, the higher up team, like the core of UVS, kind of stayed the same, and something happened mid to late last year, which has kind of destabilized that core. And
and it feels like they're having to start from scratch again almost.
And objectively, as an objective outside observer, if your core has been shaken, if something's gone wrong at a fundamental level, reeling in and restraining and like only having events in NA makes sense. But as an international player, it fucking sucks.
I completely agree. And the whole point of growing pains is eventually seeing growth. And I feel like we're constantly being told that there's going to be growing pains throughout the year, every year now, and we're not seeing a lot of the growth from those pains. And again, that could be stuff completely outside of anyone's control or even the company's control.
Yeah.
I'm not here like saying one way or the other. I have no information. But again, as an outside observer, it does kind of like stack up on you a little bit, where it's like, well, are we really going to get this stuff fixed out? Because you keep saying you're going to get it fixed and next year's going to be better. And, as a player trying to build a community, I keep telling my players, yeah, there's growing pains this year, but they're saying that next year it's going to be even better. And then that year comes, it's like, okay, well, something happens, so now there's going to be some more growing pains, but next year's going to be even better. And especially for newer players giving the game a try, that's not very confidence inspiring. But as someone who's been playing the game for 9 years with almost no community, I'm here for the long haul. So
that's kind of all the other aspects. But yeah, I completely get where you're coming from with this. It's one of those things that when you hear the Riftbound community talk about it, it's a brand new game. They expect teaming issues and growing pains and for things to be inconsistent for a little bit. But when they dropped 50 erratas to cards when the set initially launched, they lost a lot of credibility. A lot of people were, like content creators stuff, were skeptical, and people dropped the game because of the 50 erratas. I completely understand.
Well, UVS didn't.
Yeah, that's not a UVS
design anything, right?
No, that's not a UVS issue at all. That's a Riftbound issue. I'm not. Yeah, again, not all my criticisms are going to be towards UVS. This is just kind of like growing pains.
Like a general thing, yeah.
Yeah, and we are 5 years into the game, and this is our 5th organized play system. I don't count 2021 to 2022 because it was a primarily webcam, like internet based, because we were coming out of the pandemic. So it's not really an organized play system, but we've had 5 different organized play systems, for 2 different world prizing systems. Like in what the top prize is going to be, because it was cash, then it was character,
Yeah.
We've had the constant changes to the way tournaments are structured, to how tournaments play out. We had closed deck lists, then we had open deck lists for top cuts, then we had fully open deck lists. Then we're back to closed deck. Now we're back to open decks for top lists, for top cuts. There's no consistency. There's no, and like I said, for new players, that's what they want. They want to come in. They
Yeah.
want to know the game is going to be consistent. What they're going to be striving towards is going to be consistent. You can't, and when Jasco got taken over, people chose to treat it like a brand new game, and we were told to almost treat it like it was a brand new game. When Jetburn did like the soft relaunch, we were told to treat it like a brand new game, when we got notifications from the company, it was like, oh yes, within brand new game, you're gonna have these issues and stuff like that. But quite rightly, as you said, this isn't a brand new game. This is a 20-year-old game, and nostalgia only gets you so far. We've lost a lot of good UFS players in the UK because they realised they were playing not because they loved the game anymore, but because they loved what the game was. They were nostalgic. They weren't happy, and
Yeah.
the more changes, the more inconsistency, the more things like this happen, the more people are going to feel that exact same way. I mean, I'm 5 years into the game, and
I'm almost 10.
And regionals was the only chance I really got to play, and I could justify spending hundreds to travel for a major big event. I struggle justifying not only to myself but to my family spending £400 to travel for a Godzilla pre-release.
Yeah.
I did it because it was a test for the LC stream, and because I really wanted to play the Godzilla pre-release. But at the same time, 2 weeks later, I've got to justify another £400 to go play in a local championship, and my partner is not a TCG player. He doesn't understand that this is our. He understands this is like the best we're getting this year, but it's an understanding of like a thing of it sucks, but it's still a local event, and
Yeah.
especially since they came with me to like the Grand Archive, Grand Descent, and things like that. They can understand like, the majesty of it, and when you can see so many other people playing like in the Riftbound skirmishes and going to regionals, and people are traveling for them. It's in the questions I put to UVS in my organized plaything. Levi said that the level of prizing at a regionals doesn't justify the attendance the international players get. But at the same time, when you look at Riftbound, when you look at Grand Archive, when you look at Magic and Pokemon, people travel for those events. People for Grand Archive Ascent London, which only had 200 players, one of their lowest turned out events. One, Weaves of the Shore said this was actually within their expectations, and two, people travel from New Zealand and from America to come and take part in this event because of how well it was prized, because of how much they loved the game. And we have had people travel. We had Team Training Post and Suri travelling out, and we love to see them in Glasgow. We've had Nick Reagan and Justin Birch travel for our regionals and nationals. I've come out to Albuquerque because it was the summit. We have Cohen and Marcus who constantly travel between UK and US events and did absolutely amazingly at Worlds. So we do have that travel aspect of it. But
Man, I wish I could travel more like that. What I wouldn't give, but until I start making a lot more money at my job, it's just not in the cards for me.
But if the regional pricing is good enough that they need to have a higher attendance to justify it, shouldn't that inspire travel? Shouldn't that get people to go, oh, the EU has a smaller community. shouldn't they get that Justin Birch mentality of, if I travel to Sheffield, if I travel to Alicante, if I travel to Oceania, I can get myself a backup, and it's not going to be as hard as it is in the US because it's a much smaller event. So people travel to get it. And for me, it feels like a double standard of going, the pricing's too good for the UK attendance, international attendance, but at the same time,
If it
not
was
good,
that good, then they would be getting more
not
attendance.
good enough to get people to travel for it.
Yeah. And I think saying that the pricing isn't good enough or is too good to justify, like, your attendance isn't good enough to justify this pricing is kind of a backwards way of looking at a card game. Like, I understand from a business standpoint you have to make those decisions, at which point is it costing the company more money, but considering they don't like they don't send people out to like judge and stream and stuff like that. They leave that to like the local people. So at that point you're just shipping out the prizes and stuff.
I mean, yeah, but
Maybe prize wall things, but
you got to take into account tariffs and stuff like that. It's very expensive at the minute.
yes, I do agree with that, but I don't know, it just feels like a very, especially for a community driven game like ours, that feels like a very backwards way of looking at things.
I mean,
And again, that could just be me talking out my ass because I'm not a part of the company.
I could sit here and do another 2 hours on everything that was really weird and a bit asinine about that Tam Barrett and Levi chat that they did. Primarily just on the 15 minutes they did on organized play. It, but hopefully my interview gets approved because I addressed a lot of it. There was some blatant lies in there. There was some really weirdly skewing of facts in there. It didn't seem like, to put bluntly, didn't seem like an approved interview. If
Yeah.
any, for people,
Well, I know any questions I put towards the company for organized play, like emailing or like even messaging Levi, because that's who I've been told to message, I get no responses from
so
anybody.
the interview process. So if you ever wanted to get into an interview, Cameron, you have to
Yeah,
you
if I ever wanted to talk to people.
you have to formally email Matthew to find out if they have availability. He will then ask you to forward all the questions and topics you want to cover. You'll then
And then have that approved.
so you send that out. They then go through the list of questions, talk about what's in scope, what's not in scope, what they can talk about, what they can't talk about, and then you will either get to sit down with that person and chat with them, like I get to with Hitch and Linoko. I used to with Zoe before they became too powerful and just not having the time to speak to me.
What is a king to a god?
Or like when it came to my Redemption Start interview, they will send back the they'll send back like the document that you sent off with all the answers on there for you to do with what you can. It's very rare that like with Christmas reveals with Jeremy Ray or with the Levi interview that you get this kind of spontaneity. It will still be approved, but though the questions and answers that were given in that like organized play talk with Tam, the fact that there was, I don't want to say false information, misinformation in there, felt to me like it wasn't an approved interview. It was something that was kind of just put together.
Yeah.
Whether that's true or not, I don't know.
Like,
It's just my opinion, but
yeah.
Well, to put it into one, to pick on one point in particular, Levi said when addressing international events in 2025, international players had the most events they'd ever had. Even if you take into account Canada as an international event, we still had less events than we had before. we had three. We had what? Two regionals in Australia after they begged. We had three in EU, and we had Canada. That's six. That's six events we had in 2025. In 2024, each region had three regionals and one nationals. So the number of events we had was 8. So immediately that's 2 more. So again, that's the kind of question that would that's the kind of information that was wrong that would have shown up if the questions had been vetted, in my opinion. Gonna keep saying it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I could just be wrong. It could just be a human error.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. It just to me felt like 3 friends having a conversation about organized play without actually having done the background research and the vetting needed to not annoy people when it came to the touchy subjects such as international play.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, the only people I talk to from the company really are, like, Guile and Matt, because we just chat on Discord sometimes.
Yeah.
But, like, anyone else I've ever mentioned, like, even, like, even, like, a quick question, like, hey, who do I talk to about this? I get crickets. So, I'm like, all right, I'll stay in my lane. That's fine.
I chat to... Basically because, like, I've chatted to a few people. I update... When it comes to Critical Role stuff, I update the staff members that like Critical Role. Like, I've got my vinyl on display now, so I put pictures up there. I occasionally get messages from Hitch shouting at me for messaging artists when I'm supposed to go through him. But I sometimes forget, and I'm just a very social person. I talk to...
I'm an antisocial person.
I'm a social person online. I will happily drop people random DMs because it come back to me. Speaking to people, like, if I have to actually speak to them over, like, in person or through Discord or that, I become a bit more hesitant unless I'm playing a game. But I mean, Chris, aka Hitch, is absolutely lovely anyway. Love speaking to Matt. Wish I could speak to Matt more. He's constantly busy. When he has got time, really love chatting to Matt. Salt of the earth guy.
I remember one time I messaged him on Discord because I had an idea for something. I was like, hey, who do I bother if I've got a cool idea like this? And he goes, well, you talk to either Lenoco or me. I was like, cool. I'll go be Lenoco's problem today. Have a good day. He was like, well, now I want to know what's going on. What's up? I'm like, well, okay.
But yeah,
it was fun. They're cool guys.
Yeah, I mean, Guile is absolutely great as well. I mean, but
except for the fact that he doesn't like garlic. But I mean, everyone's allowed one fault.
Yeah, it's one of the things that individually, I don't have issues with the UVS staff members. I love Paul. Myself and Paul have had spirited conversations in the past. When I did the Riftbound event stuff, I messaged him. He loves to see it. It's great to see him interact with the Riftbound community. I actively miss speaking to Zoe. She's such a passionate person about her work. It was really infectious. Even like 2 years on since the last time I actually had an interview with her, I got to speak to her briefly at Worlds 2024. But you can say about anyone. Like, if I ever got to meet Dave from Riot and Riftbound, he seems like a genuinely decent guy. I got to speak to the Bugshare people. I got to speak to people from Weebs of the Show. The people that make card games genuinely love what they're doing. It is so cool to see, and it makes me wish there was a way I could get involved with it, because I want to feel that passionate about my work, and it's why I kind of make content, because it's a way for me to express how passionate I am. But
you're tired.
I'm getting there.
We have been going on for over 2 hours.
But yeah, when we got started chatting about this, and this got me going.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just at the moment as an international player, it sucks because even when it comes to Rebel Frontier, I want to be hyped about Rebel Frontier. I'm trying to be hyped about Rebel Frontier, but the moment in that like Rebel Frontier stuff, I saw regional promos,
Prize
huge,
wall.
yeah, prize war regional promos. My brain just shuts off and goes, it doesn't matter, it doesn't apply to us unless
Yeah.
I'm willing to shell out a couple of grand to travel there. It doesn't matter to us because we may see it at the European celebration, but we've been told diddly about that, and we're a quarter of the way through the year.
Yeah, I wish they would open up like a permanent redemption store, like along with the weekly rotations, and put Rebel Frontier on there.
Oh, don't get me started on the redemption store, man.
All right, all right. We need to not get you started. We need to wind you down because we've been going for 2 hours, and you need sleep. I need dinner.
I don't need to make another video of why I still hate hate the redemption store. But the only thing I'll say about the redemption store, just because something's free and serves a purpose, shouldn't mean it's above being criticized.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I still don't think one promo should be the cost of a booster box in points.
I don't think it should take 2 weeks to be able to get a promo with a weekly rotating store. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to start seeing more people coming around to my way, thinking like we've had discussions and Discord stuff of the FOMO system is just actively bad. This FOMO business plan we have at the minute of if you miss out, they're gone, because there has been stuff that has popped up on the redemption store that has never come back, and like the fact that we're now in the local championship time, and if you didn't pick up Kevin Broberg when he was on the store, you don't get to play with him. Now, I mean, he isn't the most meta relevant at the time, but if it had been, could you imagine if we'd have got into world qualifying events this time last year with Nick Reagan only been available in the shop for a week? The power disbalance people would have had not being able to get a hold of that character.
Yeah. That is crazy.
Yeah, exactly. I get what the redemption store is trying to do. It's just doing it in the worst possible way.
I agree. But that's enough about that.
Yeah, that's enough
you
about
need
that.
sleep. I need dinner.
I'll let you get off for dinner. I'm going to head to bed because I'm going to be up at 6:30 in the morning to take Flynn to school. There's going to be no stream next week because Cameron is... He told me what he's doing, and I've completely forgot what he's
going
doing.
To a carnival.
He's going to a carnival. If we don't see him after that, it's because he's been sucked up into the amazing digital circus. I'm going to be at LC.
Actually, it is a paranormal circus. So
there you go. I'm going to be at the Sheffield local championship, so I'm going to try and get these streams predated to go from there. I'm going to be streaming Saturday because Patriot are doing a 2-day local championship. We have we have Swiss on day 1, and then on day 2 we have Top Cuts and Hero 2. They're trying to make it into a pseudo regional, which is why I'm working so hard on this stream. So I would really appreciate it if people came to check it out, because I'm putting a lot of time, money, and effort into going to try and make the stream. There's going to be no commentary, but I'm going to try and get the best way to hear what the players are actually saying. Sean and Patriots put a lot of work into this event. We've got the best judges in the EU coming to judge the event as well. It's essentially going to be a pseudo regional, and we're going to try and treat it as such. So yeah, no stream from us next week, and then we'll be back on the 6th of April.
Something of April, yeah. April 1st is April 5th. Wednesday, I think.
So we're back April 5th, where we'll probably be talking about the lead up to Chicago, any other news that's kind of dropped, because given what Hitch put out on social media about Rebel Frontier, I assume we're getting some information about Rebel Frontier tomorrow, because he uploaded a little like Pit Boy scanner, and at the bottom of the corner it said 230326, and if you're not American, that just tells you what date it's going to come out. And possibly we might have had a new April Fool's prank from UVS as well. Hopefully it's not tiny cards again, because people really wanted those.
No, but I have my fingers freaking crossed, because last year I pitched them an April Fool's prank, and both people at the company I talked to loved it and said they were going to bring it up internally. So I'm hoping.
Do you know the
hoping against hope?
Do you know the worst thing they could do on April 1st is release European celebration information?
Ouch.
Because no one would take it seriously. Yeah, but it was the fresh cut grass situation. They released fresh cut grass going, it's a card you can smell. I was like, yeah, sure it is, mate. And then it was actually delivered.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to leave it there. Thanks to Blake for turning up. Thanks to Lie to Your Doctor for your one comment and lurking in the background, I assume. Thanks to everyone that's still supporting the channel. Got a bunch of stuff in. I've got so many tier lists to keep uploading. I've got so much backed up. If you're not a fan of shard bugs, I don't expect to see much this week, because this is a very shard bug heavy week. Because on there, but yeah, we're gonna leave it there. Thank you, Cam, for being here. Unfortunately, you won't get to take part in any LCs, but good luck at locals this week.
Thanks.
And I'm gonna head off there. Cam go get some food. I've delayed it long enough. And remember, everybody, for theories, news, or more, win, lose, or draw, keep it UKVersus, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.
Take care.